Good morning everyone. In this lecture we are going to cover the questions of our economy test. So first question is, the standard of living in a country is represented by, and the options are unemployment rate, national income, poverty ratio, NNP, that is net national product. So the correct answer would be E. Why E? Because the more accurate measurement of standard of living is per capita income, that is PCI. Per capita income means total income of a country, total income divided by total population. So it is going to represent, or it is going to give us better picture about the living standard. If the per capita income is good, then obviously the living standard will be decent. Now if we talk about national income, that is NI, national income, so it will be NNP at factor cost. What is NNP? It is net national product. So NNP at factor cost is going to be our national income. Now if we have NNP at market price, say if we have NNP at market price, then NNP at factor cost can be derived in this manner: NNP at factor cost plus taxes minus subsidies, So this is going to be our NNP at market price. If we have to derive NNP at factor cost, so NNP at factor cost will be equals to NNP at market price. Now this T will be shifted that side, so minus T plus S. T stands for indirect taxes and S stands for subsidies. Now there is one more term, national disposable income, that is NDI. So it will be sum total of NNP plus other unilateral transfers or other transfers such as, say, remittances, gifts, or donations. So the correct answer of this particular question is going to be E. Why E? Because PCI, per capita income, is the better indicator or more accurate indicator. One more thing, if we have, say, GDP, that is gross domestic product, so GDP plus net factor income from abroad will give us GNP. GDP stands for gross domestic product, GNP stands for gross national product. Now if we have GNP, then GNP minus depreciation will be NNP. So now we can find out the relationship between GDP, GNP, NNP at market price, NNP at factor cost, and so on. Next question is, who among the following was the first to estimate the country's per capita national income during the Britishers in the year 1888? So the correct answer is Dadabhai Naoroji, or the Grand Old Man of India. And he was the first one to estimate the India's per capita national income. He also provided drain theory of wealth, and he is popularly known for his book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. Now if the question is about first scientific estimate of national income, then the correct answer would be Professor V.K.R.V. Rao. So first attempt was done by Dadabhai Naoroji, but first scientific attempt to estimate our national income, that was done by Professor V.K.R.V. Rao in 1931-32. Post-independence, the government set up National Income Committee. So this committee was set up in 1949, and the chairperson of this committee was Dr. P.C. Mahalanobis. Dr. Mahalanobis is also known as the father of Indian statistics, and he is also known for second 5-year plan. The second 5-year plan was based on Mahalanobis model, in which he focused on capital goods. What are capital goods? Capital goods means those goods which are used to make consumer goods versus capital goods. So capital goods means heavy machineries which are used to make other consumer goods. Consumer goods are those goods which are consumed by public. Suppose a simplest example would be, say, pen. Pen is used by public, but a pen making machinery would be an example of capital good or heavy industry. Again, this was simplest example. Next question is, with reference to GDP deflator, consider the following statements. First statement is, it is released by MOSPI, that is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Second statement is, it excludes the price of exports. Third statement is, GDP deflator reflect the prices of all domestically produced goods and services in the economy. Now, first thing first, this GDP deflator is also known as implicit price deflator or GDP deflator, and it will be nominal price level, nominal upon real, that is nominal GDP upon real GDP into 100. Real GDP means base price or base year or constant price. Nominal means current price level or at current prices. So this first thing first, this statement is correct, that is it is released by Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Now GDP will include all the items which are produced in the domestic boundary of India. So third statement is also correct, that is it is going to reflect all the domestically produced goods and services in the economy. Second statement is incorrect. It excludes the price of exports. Why? Exports means the items which are produced within India and then they are exported to some other country. So of course it will be included. However, GDP will not include the imported items. Imported items will not be considered. Why so? Because imported items are going to be the part of GDP of that particular country from where we have imported. So suppose if we have imported something from China, so that will be part of GDP of China, not of our GDP. So that is why imported items are not considered. So GDP deflator will include the price of all these items. One more thing, usually it is compared with CPI as well. In fact, a similar question has been asked in UPSC as well. So CPI will include those items or the inflation in those items which are consumed by public. So CPI will include imported items, for example, fuel. But GDP will not include. Second thing is that GDP will include all the domestically produced items. So the correct answer of this particular question is going to be first and third. First is correct because it is released by MOSPI, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Second statement is incorrect because the price of exports is considered because they are produced in domestic boundary. Imports are not considered because they are produced in the domestic boundary of some other country. Next question is, consider the following statement regarding national income. National income. So first is net national income at market cost is national income. So in our first question itself, we have discussed national income. It is NNP at factor cost is national income. Therefore, first statement is technically incorrect. Second statement is it is the total value of all the final goods and services produced by the country in a certain year. Now, one important thing that we need to keep in mind that this second statement does not talk about domestic boundary. It is not talking about boundary. Had it been boundary, then it would have been a specific definition of GDP. It is talking about the country. That means whatever has been produced by the people of this particular country. So that will be national income. Third statement is it include payment made to all the resources in the form of wage, interest, rent and profit. So it is correct. Now again, national income is NNP at factor cost. NNP at factor cost is equals to NNP at market price minus taxes plus subsidies. NNP plus depreciation will be GNP. Now GNP and GDP are related in this way. GDP plus net factor income from abroad, this will be GNP. GDP is the value of all the goods and services produced within the domestic boundary of our country. So in this particular question, second and third statement are correct. First statement is incorrect. Next question is, which among the following can lead to demand pull inflation? Demand pull inflation means demand is greater than supply and therefore it will lead to inflation. Now demand pull inflation will be there when people will have money in their hands, more money in their hands, and because of this more money they are demanding more. First statement says that lower interest rate on bank loan. If interest rate is going to be lower, then it is known as easy money policy, and this will increase the money supply in economy. This will increase money supply in economy and subsequently it will lead to higher demand. It will lead to higher demand and that can lead to demand pull inflation. So first is correct. Second is increase in subsidies. Again, it will lead to more money in the hands of people. So that is also correct. Third statement is increase in the cost of raw material. Now, if the cost of raw material increases, it will increase the cost of production. Cost of production of a particular item. And this will lead to cost push inflation. So first and second are correct. Third will not directly lead to demand pull inflation. Instead of that, it will lead to cost push inflation. Next question is, which of the following statement regarding reflation is correct? So first thing first, suppose this is general price level, then this is a scenario of inflation. Inflation means increment in the price. This is scenario of disinflation. Disinflation means rate of inflation is declining. Inflation is still there, but rate is now declining. This is scenario of deflation. Deflation means now the price is below general price level. And this is a scenario of reflation. Reflation, that means now inflation is rising again. So after economic slowdown, government try to increase the demand in economy. So this is a situation that is deliberately brought by the government to increase the demand, and if demand will increase, then it will lead to lower unemployment. How demand and unemployment are connected? See, this is Phillips curve. This is inflation, this is unemployment, and as per Phillips curve, if inflation is there, in general circumstances, inflation means more people are interested to buy something. So if demand is there, it will lead to inflation, and because of this inflation, that means because of this demand, the producers will now try to produce more. So they are going to focus on their production capacity. For that, they are going to increase supply and they are going to hire more people for that. Since more people are hired, that means employment is increasing, and if employment is increasing, unemployment will decline. Okay, now coming back to the original question, that is reflation. So reflation means government is trying to increase the demand in economy. So first statement says that government go for higher public expenditure, tax cut and interest rate cut. Now the impact of these three things, that is higher public expenditure, tax cut and increased tax rate, will be higher money in the hands of people. That means higher demand. So demand will increase. First statement is correct then. Second is policies decisions are taken to revive the economy. That is also a correct statement. Third is fiscal deficit decrease. Now, fiscal deficit means, in simplest term, the total expenditure of the government is greater than total income or total revenue. This is simplest fiscal deficit. Now, since the government is trying to increase the demand in economy, government is going to spend more money. That means government is going to increase the public expenditure. If it is going to increase public expenditure, that means it is going to borrow more money than its income so that it can spend extra money. If it is going to spend extra money, that means fiscal deficit will increase. It will not decrease. So third statement is incorrect, and therefore the correct answer would be 1 and 2 only.